All right. So, can you tell me what the movie's about in short?
Stingray Sam is it's a story about two space convicts who try to earn their freedom by rescuing a little girl who's being held captive by a genetically designed figurehead of a very wealthy planet.
All right, and it's told in 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's told in serial form, like the old sci-fi serials, like the old Buck Rogers kind of serials. So each episode is 11 minutes each. They each have kind of their own identity and their own history that that unfolds, that they tell you about in each episode. In each episode, it's a musical, so they each have their own songs, and they're distinctive on their own, but they work together as in 6 pieces to make a feature.
Right, and you made those songs yourself, right?
Yeah, I wrote them.
And how did you come up with that? The fact that you put your own songs in your movie?
I make musicals. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I have a band. The first film I ever made was I was painting and I was playing music, and I thought the best way to put the two together were to make an animated short that was a micro musical, and so I've been making musicals ever since.
All right, and do you think this is the future of movies, with a lot of music and told in episodes, or?
Well, in some ways, perhaps, because one of the things that we did was we formatted it and wrote it and designed it to be accessible on all size screens, because I was commissioned by the Sundance Film Festival in 2007 to make a film for mobile phones, and after that I decided I wanted to make one that would be a film that you could see on theater screens as well as any other size screen. And part of the reason it's in a 6 episode format is so that it will translate well for downloading. It'll work well as downloads, as well as work well together as a serial that's meant to be seen as one unit. And but the thing that's happening these days is people are actually taking feature films. Like, they took my film, The American Astronaut, and sectioned it up to show on YouTube and things like that, and to represent, their own personal taste. So I thought, if people are doing that right already, it would be nice to make one that's custom built to have that done to it.
All right, and do you think your movie works best on the big screen or on the small screen?
I like the big screen, though the small screen, one of its main advantages is the audio. Watching it and listening to it through headphones is it's nice. It's got a good soundtrack.
All right, and can you name me 3 reasons why people should definitely see your movie? Why it's really good?
It's enjoyable. It's people who see the film really tend to like it. When I made The American Astronaut, people either loved it or hated it, and there was very, very little in between. But this one, people just tend to, nobody hates it, so people love it. So and I'm very happy with it because it's brand new. We just finished it.
And the first reactions to the movie were very positive. How do you cope with that? Like the people who really love your movie, do you get almost like embarrassed by all the attention, or do you like it? Or?
Well, I like the fact that people like the movie, because I think everybody who worked on the film did such a wonderful job, and everybody went beyond what they would normally do to make this film happen. And every time it screens, when I can, I watch the whole thing, because I'm watching the work of people who put a lot of love and heart into this film. And every audience, too, is very different. There's a thing that I call the chemistry of an audience, which that's what it is. But some audiences, like today, everybody sat and paid close attention to it. But I've also seen audiences where in between each episode, people applauded and, became part of the experience. So it's different with each screening, which is another reason I like to sit and watch and see how people react.
And do you think there's a difference between the American audience and the European audience?
This is our first European screening, so it's hard to say. I mean, you might notice there's a difference between each audience that watches it this week.
And we also have a Silver Scream Award. That's for the movie who gets the highest praise by the audience. Which place do you think your movie will end up in the ranking?
Second or third.
And what's going to be first?
My guess would be, I just found out you guys are playing Let the Right One In. I recently saw that film and I thought it was wonderful.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.